Good evening, friends. Here the NASDAQ analysis of May 7th, 2025. After today's FOMC decision, Fed funds decision, which still is unchanged, and that Fed very strongly is going to ignore the Congress and what Trump is saying, and it means that they will go for potentially higher interest rates. They are not saying it, but in a very short sentence of this speech of today of Mr. Powell's speech, he mentioned a potential chance of interest rate hike. So we see that NASDAQ started to its bearish move at around 22,200 to very deep at 16,164 and started a so-called V move. Yeah, this is this passage here, the V pattern, but the very important point is that it is a fake or a failed V pattern. Why? Because it hasn't reached its root or its leg. We see the second head is lower than the first one, and it means that the market or the market makers or the sellers, they have started to take some partial profits here, and also they wanted to NASDAQ to get a little bit higher with the intention to sell NASDAQ very strongly and to accumulate their long-term positions, the commercials, and therefore this is a failed V pattern, and therefore we have already started to sell NASDAQs at these areas, and we also accumulate immediately during the speech of today our sell positions. What can you expect? The first expectation is that NASDAQ can go a little bit higher to around 20,154, 100 or 200, something around here. Here we expect also a so-called broadening patterns because of the trend shifting, and that means this area would be very important for you if you want to follow my instructions and to stay short. What I do not recommend is avoid in any way to go long whatever Trump says, whatever the other says, and whatever the news media say, because still now, minutes after the Fed speech, they are spreading fake news. My recommendation is go watch the full speech of Mr. Powell by yourself. I will also in some minutes publish the complete speech of Mr. Powell in this channel, on my channel, so you can watch the whole speech, because the news media, not everyone, but the CBS and the Bloomberg are spreading fake news. For example, that Powell said we are going for two rate cuts of this in this year, and that's a very big lie. In this speech, you will see that Mr. Powell never said it. He said strongly, possibly we are going still also for interest rate hikes. And this is also those people who, like Donald Trump, want to trap the markets, who see that their announcements anymore are working no more here, because now the market is waking up. They are not buying what Donald Trump is saying. Also, as expected, Trump immediately announced what we have been expected, that he will immediately 1 minute after the speech announce something of the White House, and he did it again. So his actions are very predictive. And also Eric Trump said, yeah, I love crypto, but the Bitcoin is going down, meaning that nobody is believing anymore this lying family. And I'm saying it strongly. Some years ago, I liked Donald Trump, but this year and what I see, what kinds of corruption, especially in the financial markets, he and his friends are doing, I'm his opponent, and I don't like anymore. I don't trust. I have zero confidence in and trust in Donald Trump. So, but this is my personal opinion. Now, the market opinion is the market. The price is showing that it is not buying what Donald Trump is telling, and therefore the market is going now to sell it, and the first target of the market will be at around 16,219. So we are going to the beginning of the V point, and this is the reason that we are still strongly selling the market. The first target is at 16,290. The second ultimate target is at 14,790, and the first ultimate, this will be something at the end of second quarter, will be at around 13,000. Why the second quarter? In about 3 months, because the market is now going to play it safe. If the second quarter will be very bad, that means we will have bad GDP numbers, then the market is talking or will talk about a recession. So at that point, the market will drop much more lower to below 10,000. If the second quarter is some way good and the market say okay, then they will have a good and a potential strong buying position. Therefore, the market is not buying anymore what Donald Trump is saying, so you shall not do. The market is not buying anymore what Bloomberg and CBS are saying. And I said not every news agency, there are also some news agency like MSNBC, for example, who are making a really good job and also publishing and providing the facts, the real facts. Incredible. What they did during the last weeks was fantastic. So nevertheless, as traders, we keep care and we stay short in NASDAQ.